ejaculated before, I tell you, serious, it's called post-treatise, something else, but it causes, it's about half the population, they ejaculate, really, they get depressed afterwards, etc. Because you've now become exposed. You become exposed. If you don't ejaculate and you use that sexual force, if you don't use that sexual force to rise it up and you use it just for abstinence, again you fall. And these are dark occult teachings. Again you fall. You think you're just abstinence, but you're not working with the sexual energies. The sexual energy is the vital force. It must be worked with. Yeah. So that's that ball there. And that's why sacred, yeah, scared and sacred are the same. But this is sacred. The cube is sacred. The cube there is sacred. It opens up then into E6. But I was talking about that sexual energy. But it's aligned with this medulla canal. The medulla canal, which is the center. And we need to access this centering force. But it's alignment with our breathing. And that's where we get O-M. So we're going from do. Listen, what we're doing is we're going from force. Yeah. And we're going from force. And we're opening up this diamond. And we're going to get 6. Yeah. That's how it's going to work. Right. And then when we put the two of them together, we're going to get which is two of them together, yeah, combined, which is going to give you spirit, which is going to give you one, and then you are that one. Spirit is the fire, the force, the driving life, which is magnetism. You can't get no fire, no life without spirit. Spirit is energy, yeah. Spirit is the Father, right? And that's why when we ejaculate, we release that force, we release that Father, yeah. Only for the one that we deeply love, yeah? Because what we are doing is diminishing and we are conserving our own vital force. Even the Mason teaches this, by the way. Terrible scenario what we're living in, yeah? They teach that. Right, I want to go back to this chiro. The chiro here, look. This is the chiro. Remember we said the first two letters, and to pronounce Christ in Greek is X and P, the X and P, yeah, which is the chiro, right? Now you see that chiro that you see here. Look how the P drops down. Now Constantine, they used this, but really it's talking about the sun. They used it for war, put it on their shields. What happened? They go and win the war. That's how it works. That's how it works, right? Chiro, chi, yeah, pulling chi, yeah, is your child energy. Because to access this chi, you need to let go of your bullshit. We need to let go, yeah, of all these stagnations and toxicities that don't serve us. They don't really exist, right? The things that we think are really of importance, really they are not of any real vital importance at all. It is only purely through the love, yeah, through the love and the ecstatic charge that comes through the plasma by letting go that enables us to set free, because it is all encased with the emotional body. Once we access the emotional body, then we are now become set free, yeah. But you see here, this is the chiro. But you see, look, the Knights Templar used this symbol because it was seriously wide awake. It's a serpent working with serpent energies, right? Serpent people working with serpent energies, right? So they're working with the Baphomet symbol as well. Yeah. What is that? Darkness and light. What we were saying here. The 4 rules. Darkness is also a light. Yeah. The light is born from the darkness. So here, this is the X. What we think is what we call as an X and a P. Right. But in reality here, what you're going to see here is 4s and 9s. Yeah. Because you see, Isis, Horus and Set. Victory here. She is here. Voltage. Yeah, 22s. Right. Now, this is going to give you 9s. 9 and then 4. Right. But it's a super exit portal doorway here. That is why Elon Musk is called his child X something. He did it undeliberately, like I said the other day. Yeah. And then what they did is because they understand the way your mind works. When you put something out into the ether, if those minds are not trained, they take it like a sponge and they don't take anything else. And that is why they're stuck. Many of them are stuck. If there are souls there, some of them that could still be there as souls, could still be stuck. Right. Look at that. What's that? May the 4th. So I took that on May the 4th. Look at this. I took that on May the 4th on the 22. No joke. It's mental. Right. Even look at it. I can't believe it. Right. So There you have. So why did the Knights Templar use that? Because here it is here, right? These four here represent what you call space. Now, they have something called quantum in physics. They call everything a particle because they only work with materialist science, yeah? But the thing is, space doesn't have any properties like that. At his side of here is his plasma, right? And it's conducted by the ether, yeah? And this is what Tesla was trying to tell Einstein, was trying to let him know that it's not all a riot chaos. There is all supreme musical order taking place in a universe, because a verse is a rhythm. A verse is a rhythm. Yeah. So what happens here is this: we have 4 points, and it's a force vector. So the force is bam, 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 at 45-degree angles. Psh, expansion. This is how she expresses herself. Yeah, and this is how you become expansive. Yeah, or you want to exit somewhere, right? See, so that's how it works. That's how. This is why how the X is expansive or expressive. Yeah, or I'm going to explain something to you, so I'm going to put it all out there for you. Yeah, that's how it is, right? So the X marks the spot, which is the bullseye, right? And this is why then you see they give you X-Men. And I showed you that Bros earlier we're using the X. With the X, did you use it as a man? They use these X-Men. They do it. It's like you can stand there yourself. You can create this 6 with your body, yeah, and you can create this 6 with your body, yeah. So that's why you have Fox News. It was Fox with his 666, yeah, right. Because it's all about sex. It's all about this 8th house, which is going to be your sex. It's all coming from the sex, yeah. So anytime when you're increasing your plasma, right, what you're doing is increasing your sex. So they know here, they know by using this symbol, yeah, that this is a doorway. This is a doorway, and here you have this center point, this portal point here. So they know that here, what they're telling you here, really, yeah, is the Christ, yeah, is the Sophia, right, and the Christ. They're telling you that the two of them are combined as one. That's what's actually being shown there. There is another symbol that I did have. We'll get around to that. We'll probably have to put it on the next one. But then you see, if you're watching these films here, this is like a Dracula movie. Look, this is what they do. Look at that. He tries to go into room 4, but then all of a sudden he goes into room 9. They only want to show you 4 and 9. Look, he's always telling you a story of your divinity that's been hidden from you, and the fact that you come from a center plane. You come from a center, but then you see there's other planes above here. There's other less translucent planes above here, yeah. And then obviously this is then a plane of inertia. You are here, but there's other planes. You're just here. This is why they have us stuck, yeah. They have you stuck somewhere, right? In a loop, yeah. They got you stuck inside of a loop where they try to keep you locked into, because they're scared, they're in fear of the rest of the plane, yeah. Because the rest of the plane becomes limitless, yeah, and becomes immortal, right? That's where I was going to head to next. So then now, this is where I'm heading to. Right, this is the middle of London. Look, there's your 4, and there's your centre. Look, they're not like they have to tell you the truth. They have to tell you the truth. Look there. See, it's where we live. It's where we are. So I was saying earlier, you can't quantify anything. So when you talk about quantum science, we do natural physics, natural real science of physics, because there is nothing to quantify out in space. Because how can you quantify something with your physicality when it's not physical? It's not physical domain for a physical flesh suit. Yeah, so it doesn't work like that. So then you see, there's the 4 there here. Now, if you look at the card here, look, you see the queens here, look. There, because it's Mason's built all of this. There's that one there. And that one there she has here, look. See, you got the 4, 1, 2, 3. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 with centre 9. Yeah. So you're always going to see that. Yeah, they're always going to keep dropping it to you. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there's a cube. This is on a cube, look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. Yeah? See, this one here is a cube with like inside of another cube. In actual fact, if I show you, which I'll do on a different one, that's how they used with the police symbol, actually. They put one cube on top of another, and then they're probably at that 45-degree angle. And then that then gives you a symbol like that. But what that's doing is it's letting you know that you're creating a lock system. They're locking you in. And then you see the phallic in the center point here, because it's I take from you. Yeah, that's where that's coming from. Now this is plasma. Look, so this is a field. This is how they create like a reactor. Someone will sit there. This is how magnetism works. Someone will sit there, and then the physicality by the father, and then the emotions are being dealt with by the mother. So you're using magnetism to pull the magnetism, ignite the magnetism within your body, yeah, through field interaction, and then there is a repelling of energies. Energies are repelled. Energies are repelled away, and then what happens is dielectric acceleration forces are incoming inwards. Yep, to rebalance the physicality of the body. That's how it works. Through the emotional field, through magnetism. Magnetism is feeling and sensation. That's why all we need to do is align with nature in the superior aspects. We align with the ether, in order to make that take place. Yep, it's these things that we're teaching here have been known for thousands and thousands of years, right? So that's that one here, and then what I'm going to do is I want to go into. I'll just continue that, but there is the other board that I want to do, and I want to do that. I'll just stop and just do that board instead right now. But before I do that, just wanted to mention that here. Yeah, I was just saying about Nero and Minerva and Valor, right? So I can get both of these two in. I think I could get them both in. I want to do this one first, right? So you see, amber. So we're in May now, but you see, in the UK here, if you have amber, anytime we have amber, right, it means it's a still and waiting position. A-M-B-E-R, amber, right? Amy is May. Amy is May. The Amy means beloved in our French. So May's beloved, Amy's beloved. This is May. You are working with the beloved here, up here, in that period, right? But May is a fire. So this is a fire flame that is felt within the heart. Yeah. But if as we retethering, this is what we're doing now. We're constantly retethering and learning how to retether. One of the main ways of doing that is through superior forms of voltage, right? Through superior forms of voltage. Now, I'm going to show how that is done, right? Because like I say, it is in alignment with those forces, right? Now, that's the fire and the flame here. How that is done, one of the ways that it's done is like this. They won't tell you. They won't tell you. So I'm just what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just recharging my electromagnetic peak, which is my brain, which is conducted by magnetism, and it uses electrostatic charges to work the locomotive functions of my vessel, which we're going to go into. You can take a dead individual and you could shock the body. Yep, you could shock the body, and the eyes and the mouth and everything will start to work again. That is electricity, not magnetism. Right. So the coupling of levity and gravity at the two poles of the electrical polarity revealed by the vacuum tube, right, and by their distribution in the human organism. See? So here, this is how the magnetism works. There are two forms of magnetism aligned with heat and cold, right? That's why we have cold plasma. Cold plasmas do phenomenal things for the body in terms of just removing bodily negativity. It does it not overnight, it just does it instantly. The reason it does it instantly is because of the negative fields. They're only fields, which is what they are. Yeah. they are attracted to the actual cold plasma, and the cold plasma just breaks them up into bits, and they just diminish, because it doesn't carry the emotion of pure ecstatic love and bliss. It doesn't carry those emotions. Also, this is taught here. When we think with our lower region, when we think from above the waistline, when we think below the waist, when we look at the masculine and feminine, look at the other counterpart, they look at them below the waist. Really, seriously, we do, right? In a sexual way, yeah. And that gives us our perspective, collective perspective. Then is lustful, and then greedy, yeah. Because if one ejaculates once like that, it's wasteful. So you only receive back wasteful energy. What is that? You need to do it again, and more and more and more, etc. But when man and woman looks above the waist, yeah, you start to look at you like to look at other women as your sister or as your mother. You see? Yeah. Now it is Aurora Magna Mater Sophia who shows me the perfect emblem of a triumphant feminine character. Yeah. That's where I get it. I'm the astral. Like the other day, it was telling me, see, when you come here, it's like a web. So when you dream, you're going to dream of all the experiences that have taken place within this physicality, or of the times that you've been in this physicality, because it is a web, and you become entangled within that web in any interaction that you have with the physical plane. And then so that's why we have all these dreams, and you wake up, it means so much to you, etc., because of the emotions that are then attached to them. Yeah, that's how that plays out. But then if you look here, this is the magnetism working in the actual body. So then when we think above the waist, and then when we try to pull this energy upwards, we then start to pull it into Diana, the eyes, yeah, your royal, the princess, right, the guiding shining light. But it's a fluidic force. The magnetism is a fluid. It's a fluid force. A fluid force, yeah, that is running throughout the vessel. Now, some can feel it more than others, because it is in alignment with feeling and sensation. That is the way that it works, right? I'll read a few of these here. So it says here, every person living is magnetized. He possesses more or less of the magnetic fluid or heat to produce the phenomenon of magnetic sleep, right? He must become unmagnetized. You must become unmagnetized to affect this. Right. The mind of the subject must become passive, as I was saying, whilst that of the operator is active or positive. The pores or the glands of the flesh run downwards. The operator, by making the downwards passes and by a firm exercise of the will, extracts the magnetic fluid from the system of his subject and receives a portion of that same into his own system. By these means he becomes positive and his subject becomes negative. See? Positive and negative, right? So that's how that works. So you're becoming active and passive. But if you look at this is a gentleman called Charles Bonnet. He did a lot of work on hallucinating, hallucinogenics, etc. So it says, Charles Bonnet of Geneva, a century ago suggested that there was an elastic ether residing in the nerves in a manner analogous to that which is with the electric fluid, right, residing in the solid. Now, elastic is connected to magnetism, and it is connected to alkalinity, which I'm going to show. I will show how it is connected, yeah, directly connected to magnetism and alkalinity, and it's connected to passivity, and it's connected to relaxation, and it's connected to stillness, and it's connected to flow. And this is what happens. You see, this is the father and the maiden, father time and the maiden. Yeah, you see, to access the sphere of infinity here, yeah, you gain the powers of regenerating oneself in physical matter, so one never dies, and that is what this symbolizes here. Yeah, but it's all done underneath her eye, this is the Queen of the Sea. This would be, which this would be, yeah, This is Polaris, right? Another 13,000 years, it's going to go to Vega, and then after that, the swirling dervish, she will go straight back again to Polaris, yeah. And that is the eye that looks down above, the eye of wisdom looks down above, shining light, which is the white light that never ever dwindles, yeah. So this is what happens. You see, you become the maiden. You see, you become master of your illusion, master of time. Yeah, by being able to regenerate oneself and by keeping oneself young like that. That is what you see. This is what the Masons are keeping from individuals. It is not being taught and not being made known. Yeah. So, and then you see, this is why you have the carbon. Yeah, it is the lower part of the body, right? And then you have the oxygen. So oxygen and carbon, most of the bodies they're made. There's only a bit of hydrogen here. Look. Hydrogen there around the throat. What is the throat? Which is soul, which is where liveness is light. Blue light is coming from right here. That's where the blue. That's the blue. The blue meridian is there. That would be your blue meridian right at that point. So if we just continue, but then I just wanted to. I mean, if you look at things like that, I snapped that about 3 years ago. And now look where you are. Now look where we are. Right. So it is. Right. So I try not to do some certain things because I've been doing it for so long. I've been doing it for ages. Right. So this board, May, fire, flame, yeah, which is a flame festival in May, the 1st of May, Beltane. But then they are using that, you see, because of the dualism, they are in alignment with imbalance. Right. Imbalance. Right. But using a Symmerogram, right? A Symmerogram, yep. Mother becomes Uma, yeah. And Ama equals Mama, Ama, which is the Dogon name for which is the Mama. But Uma, you see, that's Acadia for mother, right? So father rambles. Yeah. But mother mumbles, right? Because you see, your rambling is taking place in your cerebrum here, right? It's taking place in your cerebrum, right? And then your cerebellum is then the Taurus. So you got the ram and the bull, right? But then your mumble, yeah, mother is coming from your mouth, which is why. And she is hydrogen, which is blue life. But ramble and mumble, ramble is 6 and mumble is 3. The two of them together were going to give you the 9. She's coming from spirit. She's telling you, if I take matter and patter, if I take matter and patter from here, right? If I was to take matter and patter, then what would happen? What would happen is the two of them combined, using numerology, the two of them combined, both matter and patter, they both equate to the 9 here. But you see, with matter and patter, sol and lunar, you get the neutral force in the centre, which is the knave. That is the one that must be accessed through balance, through learning how to balance both strength and beauty. See it there. In Egyptian as well, you'll see it. That has to that's a scenario. That is a scenario that must always take place. It always has to happen, right? So then, as we then continue with this one, you'll see. So yomi, see umma, mama, yeah. See, it's already engraved within. See, yummy mummy, but yummy. You see, yummy is 7, but mother is 7. She's telling you, see, she is the leader of the sevens, yeah? Which is the 7. The 7 again, you can find that 7 within the heart, yeah? That's where it is, the 7 and the 3 there. And the 3 that's encased within that 7 is wisdom, chastity, and love. Where do those type of archetypes come from? They come from the mother. That's why, look at this Pope here. Look at this. Not long ago. Yeah. It's above him here, the white Pope, because there's a black Pope as well, who you don't see in the show. But you see, this is a womb. And this is a serpent. There. Right? This is a serpent. And then you see this St. George cross. Yeah, which is a 4. Right? That's... you see, but it's all being birthed from a womb. So he is the Jack being birthed from its mother. There. Right. And that is why, this is why, when I get to it, when you get there, which I will do, here, you see this MV here. MV is your millivolt charge. See that millivolt charge is a blue flame charge conducted by, she is MVQ, supreme voltage. People need to seriously know this because it's not a joke, right? It's supreme voltage. If you use this, see this is aged, but I'm using it externally. I mean, this one I'm using externally, right? Yeah. It will increase your learning capability. It will increase everything that you are doing. Yeah. This is what happens, right? How do these things? How do they do this sort of thing, right? This is hydrogen, right? Now I'm drinking hydrogen water. I have this hydrogen water machine, right? Now, as we continue, it will become accessible to all. It will do. It will become accessible to all as we continue on this journey, right? So I'm already been using hydrogen for many years. Lots of it, fantastic. Then I came across this hydrogen machine. For a video that Santos Bonacci did. Yeah, beautiful soul. Thank you, Santos Bonacci. Beautiful soul. Has a mind similar to my own. Right. Yeah. So as soon as I seen that, because I'm already very clued up with hydrogen, I just had to get it instantly. Now I want you to see this. Look. Hydrogen enriched water eliminates fine particles from the lungs and the blood by enhancing phagocytic activity. Right. So as I continue, all the things that I always teach about, yeah, you'll see them in here, right? So such, yeah, pneumocyanosis, the alveoli, and induced inflammatory lesions, right? We see markedly improved, yeah, by feeding hydrogen water, right? While PW was ineffective. See, and because whatever they used was ineffective, right? So what we find here is such particular matters, yeah, eliminating and anti-allergic effects of hydrogen water reduced body burdens as confirmed from the facilitated recovery of blood and lung weights, right? So it's just letting you know there, but what you need to see is this, right? As a mechanism study, right, only hydrogen water significantly inhibits lipid peroxidation in vitro. Now, on the start of this video, I talked about lipid peroxidation, and I was talking about DNA breakages, yeah, being caused. I'm going to do some massive, really good experiments coming up next week on all the stuff, on all of the urines and everything else, right? I got some stuff here that enables me to do really good testing on a more advanced level, right? Using technology, to do it, right? So, right, I'm saying the heavy bicarb does a DNA breakage, but it's not going to do what this does. And the reason is because the way that hydrogen works, it is just so small. It breaks through anything, the blood-brain barrier, but it only knows how to sustain life. This is why they had to hide it. There are elements within nature that only know how to accelerate life, and they're blue flamed elements. And these blue flame elements, they are oxidative reduction potential massively. That machine I was just using is an ORP reader. ORP equates to 22. Her number is 22. ORP is 22. C, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, CONH is 22. There is a language being spoken to you directly through wisdom. If it is picked up and grasped, then what happens is this inorganic, imperfect illusion that you're experiencing falls down in front of your face. Yeah, that's how it works. And you can enter a paradise plane. But what I'm telling you is going to happen here, right, is that there are people who are just going to walk around and they're just going to walk away. I'm being serious. That's what's going to happen. And they know that's how it works because you have dominion over matter. Right. So as a mechanism study, only H water significantly inhibited Libet peroxidation in Fenton reaction media. You see, Fenton reaction, that takes place with 2.4 gigahertz. Any of those inorganic millimeter waves, yeah, you're gonna experience this Fenton reaction because, like I always teach, it's gonna generate the ROS, but it's gonna generate OH generating system, right, which is a hydroxyl radical. Collectively, results indicate that H2 water not only effectively eliminates particulate matters from the lungs and blood by enhancing the phagocytic activity, but it also attenuates lung injuries by inhibiting lipid peroxidation, right? Yeah. You need to know this going forward because they're going to keep saying to you about this respiratory thing, right? And using it and so on and so forth. And the reason that you're going to do that is because they're taxing the oxygen in the air. Something I've been teaching for a few years now as well, right? And look, I've been teaching. At first, people would have thought, oh, no, you can't really do it. I promise you, yes. Yeah. QMV runs this gaff, runs this place, I'm sorry to say, runs this place. She is the guardian of all life and death, and she never ever dies, right? And that's how it works. So if I was to continue to go through this, you will see here the World Health Organization. Yeah, studies have also been associated between air pollution and incidence of respiratory, cardiovascular, neurological disease, and several types of cancer. You are living in a toxic environment anyway. The association with respiratory diseases is stronger and direct, and the most valuable groups are children and elderly, and those with pre-existing respiratory diseases, especially asthma, bronchitis, and so on and so forth. PM exposure triggers a variety of maladaptive signaling pathways in the lungs, blood, and vessels. Right. This is all coming back to, again, this is what I teach. Blood, vessels, liver, it's going to come straight back to inflammation. Right. Oxidative stress and inflammation responses. Oxidative stress arises from strong cellular oxidizing potential of excessive reactive oxygen species or see, the ROS isn't reactive oxygen species. The ROS is a disruption of your oxygen balances, which is where you're getting your respiratory issues from, right? Yeah, but it's combatable. The ROS generated via diverse physiological, pathological activities is converted to highly toxic hydroxyl radical. The only thing that's going to get with your highly toxic hydroxyl radical is your hydrogen, right? Molecular hydrogen. And anything that carries the high negative charge. The high negative charge. Because it's in alignment with triggering magnetism, the fluidic force, which removes negativity through field interaction within your plasma light highway. Or detoxified by oxidizing and antioxidant enzymes, right? Now, enzymes need to be triggered at pH 8. That's how important it is that you increase the pH of your cells, right? High concentration of OH, right, produce Fenton reaction mediated by transition metal ions, yeah, such as Fe and C and the C and the copper, right? Since there is no detoxification systems. Since there is no known detoxification system for OH scavenging, OH is a critical antioxidant process. Yeah. But you see, hydrogen, yeah, does this. It does it. It's not like something you say. This is fact. Right. Indeed, hydrogen water has been reported to improve various diseases and tissues injuries throughout antioxidant and anti-inflammatory activities. Yeah. Including preliminary inflammation, asthmas, and so on and so forth. It is the ROS which generates the OH radical within you, yeah? But because there is nothing inside of any medication or anything that does anything to do with it, then they can just say to you, there's nothing we can do with you. There's nothing that we can do for you, right? Yeah, but I've witnessed it myself. I've done it with my own part. I've been in a hospital and seen somebody on a ventilator with pneumonia, dying with pneumonia, right? My own partner. Yep. And I have administered hydrogen there and then, yeah, and it has worked and taken it off that ventilator. Not now, this is going back a couple of years ago now, yeah, taking it off that ventilator, and then I have gone up to a doctor and shown them the hydrogen, and they are so thick. I'm going to say this because they are thick. They don't even know what hydrogen is, yeah, because of your square mitre board cap, yeah, in alignment with the restricted energies of Saturn, making you thick, because you are only being, it's just rabbiting information, isn't it? We know this now, yeah? It was information that was just being rabbited. But when we think, oh, we know this now, let's move forward. No, there is no never, and you just know. Yeah, I've been researching and learning for a long time. There is always more to learn and more to know in order to advance within this realm. And that's because that's how much that they've been hiding and keeping. You could run away somewhere, etc., and think you're away. But if your body balances are not right, and you are not in alignment correctly, yeah, and you're not able to not able to accelerate the vessel, then you may find yourself starving. Yeah, that's how things work, right? So I just wanted to explain that, show that with the hydrogen, because that's how I always talk about this blue flame, and that's what these blue flames are doing. That's how these blue flames, how they work, right? There's just loads that I could go on to with the workings of the molecular hydrogen, but anything that carries that high charge, that high blue flame, that high negative, it's negative. Look, remember I was showing this the magnetism in the body, right? So again, anything that is having that negative, that's giving you that negative, right? Again, I'll pull it up again in a minute. I just had it a second. Anything that's giving you that, anything that's going to give you that force is going to let it happen. Because that's why you see she's there, she's crowned, look. And you see these orbs, these are spheres. These are spheres. So these are the gods, look. These are the gods. She comes down from the pleroma, look, but she's got a crown, and this is the white light. This is the white light above her head here. And you are her child. And these are supreme entities. Yeah, giving birth to a third who falls. He's falling into matter as complete perfection. Complete to total perfection. Yeah, and you are a child of that complete and total perfected state. Yeah, that is what is happening. We're a child of that. So going back to here, right, where we're going to go on about this, the RAM, right? So I tell you, it's not with knowledge, it's just never ending, which is why we love it. See, the real reality for us is limitless. For every 6 months, I'm finding something new. Because of the alchemy that I'm always doing and the metaphysics that I do, I'm always finding something new. It's not, sometimes not me finding it, it's a physicality. Now what I've got here is iron. This is iron here. So now I'm going to kick iron to kick fire out of iron. Your hemoglobin at the centre is iron. The hemoglobin of the plant is magnesium. But most people are suffering with vitamin D deficiency, but they're not going to get it because they don't use the magnesium. But the magnesium contains the blue flame charge. It contains that same blue flame charge, so that you can then absorb the vitamin D. Yeah, because they're saying, oh, some of these black people or Asian people can't absorb this vitamin D. Yeah, they can't. Of course they can't, because because their mind is in alignment with death. So they are not able to consume any source of life and light to be able to, for them to be able to absorb that the vitamin D. See. That's how it works. You can't do that when you're constantly eating chips and bread. If you're eating constant death, yeah, which will taste nice. Why will it taste nice? Because we want to oxidize you now. Yeah, of course we do. Because what you're doing is it's like filling up a bus full of alcoholic, drunken people. We need to get them off quickly to let not other people on. It's not fair on them. Yeah. So that's why nature's no different. It's no different. But that situation is being advanced and taken advantage of by those who are holding on to some light, holding on to light. Yeah. So we have here the chrysomalis, right, which was a gift from Hermes, the communicator, right. The gift from Hermes, who goes in between all of the other luminaries. But you see what it is? It's the flying golden ram. The flying golden ram is so important that the queen has it there, look, hidden. See its face, look here? This is a ram.